All right. Good afternoon. Thanks for taking time out of your busy Monday afternoons. If you're returning back from a previous webinar, welcome back. And if this is your first webinar you're joining us for, welcome. I'm Troy Thomas, our Director of Business Development with EBSCO Ed, supporting the Talent Triad. So today's webinar is called Recommendations and Resumes, a Teacher's Role in the Alabama Talent Triad. And really for this webinar, we just have one main goal, and that's really for you to gain a better understanding of how students and job seekers can take the credentials, skills, experiences that we talked about on the previous webinar, that now once they have them synced and in their wallet, is how do they create that skills-based resume and get connected to job and learning opportunities. We are going to do just a quick recap for those who couldn't join on the first webinar. And then also at the end, I will do a live demo to show you the syncing of a credential and then how that builds a resume and gets recommended jobs and learning recommendations. So just to recap, so the Alabama Talent Triad was really created to help increase the skilled workforce in Alabama, and also to help increase the labor force participation rate, and to really just build a bridge between education and workforce, and ultimately, really just make all learning count and um, bring that clarification, or just really allow people to show what they know and can do. Ultimately, too, is to get people connected to job and learning opportunities based on skills matching. And there are three pieces. It is a talent triad. So one is the digital wallet and LER component for students and job seekers. Two is the skills-based job portal for employers. And then three is the credential registry, which is where all the education and training providers across the state can park all of their certificate, licenses, credentials, degrees, and really just unbundle those down to the skill level. And it really is something to be excited about for the state. It really is a first in the nation solution. I know I probably keep repeating that, but really we get calls from states all the time trying to replicate what Alabama has done. And, they want to replicate it for their state, which is something that every Alabamian should really be proud of. So how's it different? What makes it different from LinkedIn or Indeed or Smart Resume or really any other workforce solution that's out there? Well, one, it's not isolated. It's not an isolated solution. It's statewide, supported by the state, and free for every Alabamian and every employer in the state. Two is it helps create that transparency of what you have earned and learned by making skills the common denominator. Three, it's interoperating directly with the student information systems at your high schools. So directly with PowerSchool to really validate the students' credentials, which that is very different from a LinkedIn, where everything is self-attested. Also, when a student creates a digital wallet and syncs their LERs, that is something that will be supported through their retirement. So they won't have to have a different wallet for high school and a different wallet for college and a different wallet after college. This is one wallet that they're going to have, through their retirement. And then finally, by choosing EBSCO as a partner, the state's going to continue to be able to receive feedback from job seekers, from employers, from teachers, from education training providers, and really continue to make customizations that's only going to help improve the talent triad and meet the needs and goals across the state and locally. So again, want to just hit on the learning and employment records. Like I mentioned on the last slide, Alabama Talent Triad interoperates directly with PowerSchool at the high school level to sync those validated credentials into the wallets. That's a huge key differentiator for the Alabama Talent Triad. And when I say learning and employment records, so those are really what allows the student to create those kind of next gen resumes that can tell the full story of their educational career and their experiences, and really interpret those and see how they align to different career pathways, and really help for employers kind of to better understand as well. So they essentially just bring to life what you have learned and earned, and really help keep you prepared, for whatever's next. So by having that digital wallet with your LERs, you'll always be ready and prepared for that next step. And I mentioned this on previous webinars as well, but there's a statistic that blows my mind kind of, but says that folks newly entering the workforce will change jobs 12 to 16 times. So being able to articulate and show what you know and can do is only going to become more and more important, as finding a job and maybe even transferring between industries. So being able to know how your skills are transferable and how to articulate those is going to be so much more important. All right, so it is super valuable to students and for job seekers in many ways. Once the LERs are synced, students will be able to get those personalized, recommended career pathways based on the skills and experiences in their wallets. It's not a fishing expedition where you might have, 1,000 jobs thrown at you. Some are applicable to the skills and credentials that you may have, and some are not. Like you might get from an Indeed or LinkedIn. These are very personalized, recommended jobs that you're going to get based on the particular skills and experiences that are in your wallet. Also, you get recognition for all of the real world experiences that you're having. Students are doing a lot more today in the high schools, like co-ops, internships, hybrid apprenticeships, on-the-job training. We've seen examples all across the state, and there's so many great programs, and the students are just really getting great real-world experiences. They're gaining skills from those, and they should be able to get credit for that and have those match them to real jobs. All right. Ways that you can help encourage parents, students to get that opt-in completed. Again, those letters were sent home on September 6th. Kids are going to learn about it, hopefully get their wallets, get synced with LERs. Parents are going to learn about it, hopefully get their wallets, talk about it with their brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, nephews, uncles. So hopefully, this just keeps that momentum going and keeps growing the amount of folks that are signing up for wallets. Here's just an example of what the letter looks like. And again, maybe there's ways in the classroom that you can incorporate this into any career planning that you do. Show them how they can add experiences like volunteering, clubs, etc. How they can sync their learning and employment records. And just to note, students can still sign up for a wallet, for an account in the Talent Triad, even without the opt-in. The opt-in just allows them to sync their courses that they've completed from PowerSchool. All right, how does it work? So signing up, you can go to alabamatalenttriad.com. You can also scan the QR code here on the screen. Once you go to that screen, you'll probably see a sign up. It's free right there in the middle of the screen. Once you click that button, it should bring you to this screen where you can just put in some basic information, first name, last name, email, pick that username and password, click sign up, and you have an account. We also went through this briefly on the last one, and I will again show you in the live demo, but adding credentials. So if you're syncing from your school, you can choose the add credentials, sync from provider. You will see a drop down in the list for ALSDE, put in your student ID, sync credentials. There are also other ways you can upload a file. So if you have a picture of a badge or a picture of some other credential that you've earned, if you have a link to a digital badge you've earned, there's lots of ways to upload those credentials. There are also ways to add skills for the verified or validated credentials from your school. Those will have skills attached to those. So you could see on these skills on the screen, they have the nice little check mark here because they were attached to a credential that you synced in your wallet. You can also come in and add self-attested skills. So you would click add skill. This little screen will pop up and you would click add from skills database. You can type in anything in here. There's what we call soft or durable skills, which employers are placing a big emphasis on nowadays. So things like communication, problem solving, teamwork, things like that. You can always come in and add those skills as well. And then you can also add experiences, those co-ops, extracurricular activities, any volunteer work. You can add those as well. And those are going to tell a story about your school, your educational career as well. All right, so now that you have a wallet full of credentials, skills, and experiences, you can really begin to craft a skills-based resume that kind of tells the story you want to share with employers. And maybe that's multiple different resumes that all tell a different story. That's for the student or job seeker to decide. So you would really start with clicking Create Resume, and that will bring you to this form where then you can use your already created profile information to fill out the resume header by clicking this little button, fill in from your profile, and then that'll automatically populate for you. You can then easily add the credentials, skills, and experiences to the resume by simply just clicking them, and then you'll see them come over in the resume preview. Then you can also add any other supporting documents that you may want to share, maybe a cover letter, a recommendation letter, or maybe a portfolio that you have created. Anything that you think is going to be beneficial to that resume, you can start adding those as well. So once finished, you would then click Publish and Share Resume. That information is then shared with the recommendation engine to give you those personalized recommended career pathways and learning opportunities. But also by sharing your resume, you'll now not only get those personalized job recommendations, but you have also enabled the ability for employers to contact you and view your resume if they receive it as a recommended candidate. So the way it works on the employer side as well is when they post a job rec, they will only see candidates that are recommended to them. So this isn't a fishing expedition for them. They can't just go out searching for candidates. They can only see who's recommended to them and then can begin to reach out to those recommended candidates. All right, so once you have published and shared your resume, you can then come and see the learning and job recommendations. To see those job recommendations, you would simply click the resume you want from the drop-down list. So you see here is a drop-down list. You may have 3-4 resumes that all kind of tell a different story. So you only want to see job recommendations, for the one that you want to see. We've chosen this CNA resume for this person, and then you can see the recommended jobs kind of show below. You can interact with those jobs, so you can bookmark them to save them for later. You can thumbs up, thumbs down, so the recommendation engine can get smarter and learn kind of what you're looking for. You can also click the job to see more details and start the application process. Sometimes that might be through the Alabama Talent Triad. And then also employers may want you to come to their website to apply. So they're going to specify that. It'll give you either the link to their website, or you can apply directly through the Alabama Talent Triad. There's also an auto apply feature that you can turn on so that the triad will automatically apply to recommended jobs that you choose, or recommended jobs for a particular resume of your choosing. So you would specify the resume, and then the auto apply feature will be for only the recommended jobs of that resume. All right, we went through that pretty quickly. I wanted to get through those slides again. Those will be out in the replay if you want to go through more slowly. There's also these training assets and support links again. So feel free, to hit any of these guided tours or trainings of the Talent Triad. Again, here's all the links to our socials. But really, I wanted to jump over into this live demo and show you how a credential is synced, and then a resume created, and show the job recommendations. So I'm going to stop sharing this. And I'm going to share. All right, so you should be seeing alabamatalenttriad.com. Again, here's the sign up. It's free button, so choose that if you're signing up for the first time. We're going to log in, and I'm going to choose a demo account that we have set up. All right, so I just want to show you real quick. Here is the profile information, pretty straightforward there. So you can come in and fill that out. And then over on the left is where the menu options are. So we're in My LER, that's where credentials, skills, and experiences all show up right here. You can see this learner already has kind of one micro credential synced. We're going to add another credential. So again, there's the sync, upload, embed, and link options. We're going to sync from Alabama State Department of Education, Career and Technical Education. And then it's going to ask us for a student ID. Again, this is just a demo account. So we're going to sync that credential. You'll see this student has earned a certified nursing assistant from a CTE courses she completed. So that shows up with that check mark, shown as a validated credential, a validated certification in her wallet. If we now go over and check her skills, you can see there are also skills that are associated with that as well. Measures and records manual blood pressure, transferred from bed to wheelchair, provides mouth care. So all these are skills that populated in her wallet once she synced that validated credential. They also have that nice check mark. Now, if you wanted to just add a skill, you can always come in and add from the skills database. You just begin typing to find a skill that you want to add. So we could, just choose a communication skill here. So let's say supervisory and responsible communication. So we'll just go ahead and add that one. We'll add it to her skills. If we come down here, we see that this skill is now in her wallet, so supervisory and responsible communications, but we can also see that it is self-attested as opposed to the validated skills that are in her wallet. And then finally, experiences. So you can add any experiences that you want. This learner has one already in her wallet. You can also just choose to add experience and put in the appropriate information for those as well. All right, we're going to come down to resume builder here. This learner already has 3 resumes in here, and you can see these resumes kind of show her her career trajectory story. So, kind of probably started with her getting her CNA through CTE, maybe went back and got a phlebotomist certification. So then she wanted to create a phlebotomist resume to search for those jobs. And then maybe is back in school working on a nursing degree and wants to see or start to create a nursing focused resume. So, like I mentioned, you can create resumes that tell the story that you want and get matched with jobs based on those resumes. So to create one, simply hit create resume. And like I mentioned, you can choose the credentials, the skills that you want to get populated in this resume. All right, last thing here is we're going to show recommended jobs. So you would come in, first thing you would do is choose the resume that you want to see jobs recommended for. We're going to stick with that CNA resume. Give it just 1 second here as it finds the jobs that are the best match for the skills that are and credentials that are in that resume. So you can see here some jobs are populating based on that CNA resume. So we could bookmark jobs, thumbs up, thumbs down. You could come in and look at a particular job, see more details on that job, apply on so that's going to be up to the employer on how they want you to apply. This employer has chosen to apply on the company website. You can see the skills that are associated with that job, etc. So again, all those will populate under the recommended jobs, and you can interact with those to make sure the recommender is getting you the best recommendations based on what you want to see in your wallet. I think that is all I had for today. I don't know if I mentioned about adding any questions in the chat, but it doesn't look like there are any. So with that, thank you for joining us late on your Monday afternoon. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and always feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need any help or need any additional support or materials for your students, your family, for anyone who just would need help with the Alabama Talent Triad. We are always here for support. So thank you and have a great day.